Aloha! What's going on, everybody? I'm John Maffio, aka MaffmanJones. Welcome to MaffmanJones Movie Reviews, and today's featured movie is Jon Favreau's The Jungle Book. This is an adaptation of a series of books that were released a long time ago, as well as another movie that is following in the live-action trend where Disney likes to remake a bunch of their movies, and this is one of them too. It's directed by Jon Favreau, though, who directed Iron Man. He directed Sathura, which is a great movie, do not get it twisted, and he's a pretty talented filmmaker. And let me tell you, I haven't seen Jungle Book, the original 1960s animated Disney film, since I was probably under 10 years old. But this movie, no ifs, ands, or buts, it's great. It's a really well-told story that centers around this kid, Mowgli, and the environment visually is one of the most engrossing things I've seen this year. Let's talk about Jon Favreau really quick. Jon Favreau is that guy from Swingers who hung out with Vince Vaughn, and he was a little bit of a pansy, and he went from that to becoming one of the most talented filmmakers in the industry right now. He made this movie. He took a simple story about this little character named Mowgli, but he's like Tarzan, but instead of just apes, it's like the entire animal kingdom, and made it into a very compelling story that is mostly filled with computer-generated environments. The only real things that are presented in this movie, and by real I mean the actual definition of real, are the character of Mowgli, who is played by a live-action person, and some props, leaves, branches, things you would see in a jungle environment. But everything surrounding this movie is computer-generated. It's like Avatar, in a way. You forget you're watching a movie, and you just get into the mindset of this kid and his story. In the world of the Jungle Book, you have to know going into it that all the animals work together for the most part. They all have a peaceful environment, except for one really pissed off tiger played by Idris Elba, who has such commanding presence on screen. I'm pretty sure motion capture was involved here, so a lot of the performance was captured that way, but just the sheer idea of hearing Idris Elba's voice in this movie is such a commanding, terrifying presence. Whenever Shere Khan, played by Idris Elba, is on screen, I was scared. And if I, 22-year-old John Maffio, was scared, I can only imagine all the children with their families watching this movie. They will not come out of this movie the same. They will not. Not only does he visually look scary, but some of the things that he does, some of the actions he takes in the movie, shocked me. There was a moment with Shere Khan in this movie where my heart literally skipped a beat because I did not see what happened coming. I didn't see it coming, and it freaked me out. And I thought immediately after that, kids are not going to react well to this. Even King Louie, voiced and played by Christopher Walken, is terrifying in a moment or two as well. You can even argue that the snake character played by Scarlett Johansson is scary too. The movie presents its environment as a real-life jungle for the most part. There's levity and logic to this place. It's basically creating reality, in a sense, even though the movie is, like, ironically not filmed in reality. It's filmed in a flippin' studio. When you're trying to present a real-life environment, some things just naturally will come off as frightening. So continuing what I said before, visually the movie is stunning. From a voice acting standpoint, I think everybody brought their A-game. Everybody did a really good job, but the standouts definitely include Idris Elba, Ben Kingsley, and Bill Murray. But now technically the only live-action actor in the movie who plays Mowgli, the kid actor, he was good. He wasn't great. He had moments where you could tell that he was like really trying hard to act, but for the most part, he's charming, he's cute, you buy into his character. He has to carry the movie for the most part, and he does that. So for a kid of his age to do something like that, it's commendable. The storytelling, as voiced by Jon Favreau, the director of the movie, is really well told. It's a really, really solid piece of filmmaking here. It does follow a lot of the beats of the original animated movie, but it adds some components to the story to create more of a mythos and to create more of a, a compelling drive. It makes the movie more cinematic, I guess you could say. The original animated movie, if you don't know, had one of the most popular songs ever for any movie, Bare Necessities, and it's a great tune. The way that Bare Necessities is utilized in the film works, in my opinion. But I can see how it wouldn't work, because following Bare Necessities is another scene that kind of goes the same route musically, and it didn't work for me. Because the scene was kind of setting up, in my opinion, to be more foreboding, and instead it chooses to go more lighthearted, because it's trying to have this whimsical musical quality. And it kind of took me out of the movie for 5 seconds, and that was the only point in the entire movie where I was like, you didn't have to do that. So yeah, Disney's new Jungle Book film is really, really good. It's a great movie. I highly enjoyed it, more than I expected to. It's visually one of the most incredible movies I've seen this year. It's got great voice acting. The talent is immense. The movie is really well paced too. It's almost 2 hours long, but you never really feel it. The movie is going to be enjoyable for both kids and adults. Kids might be frightened by some of the images on screen, but they'll definitely really enjoy the experience because it's really fun seeing all the animals. There are some jokes, there's some humor, there's levity to the movie, and the humor works perfectly. The filmmaking is so mature, though, that any adults taking their children to see this movie will enjoy themselves, and they might even enjoy it more than the kids. It's a classic case of what you would expect from a Disney movie. I guess you could say it's kind of a recalling, in my opinion, to the movie Dinosaur that came out 16 years ago, where it has these hyper-realistic images, and it has some frightening imagery because of it, but it's overall just a really fun, enjoyable story. So having said all that, I'm going to give Jungle Book, this iteration anyway, a 4.5 out of 5 stars. It's mafadociously darn good. Highly recommend for most ages. But now I want to know from you guys, what did you think of the Jungle Book? Did you enjoy it? Did you like it more or less than the animated iteration that came out years and years ago? And also, have you read the books? How are they? Let me know anything about Jungle Book in the comments down below. If you enjoyed this video, please like it and subscribe, and check out my Facebook and Twitter accounts in the info box. I'm John Maffio, aka MaffmanJones, and tigers scare me even more than they did before. But tigers have already had a striking sense of fear in the hearts of human beings, I think. They've, established that a long time ago. This movie just enhances it, though. I'll see you guys next time.